Hello, I'm D. Jude Miller, and welcome to this. I tried to come up with a name for what this was going to be. Diary of a Madman, Ramblings of an Art Hermit. I have no idea what it is, but if you think about the quote that I led off the video with, which was actually from my son, a few days ago he was talking with me about a project I'm working on right now, and he asked me, "How long have you been working on this?" And I told him, well, on and off, I've been working on this for about 18 years. And he thought about it for a second and said, 18 years? And I said, yes. And he said, well, it better work or it's going to be a big waste of time. And I really thought about that, of like, what am I actually doing here with this thing? What have I done in general? And one idea was to create these videos for some reason. Either A, it could help people that are starting out like I am going through this children's book process, things that I learned, things that you shouldn't do, things you should do. B, it just becomes a diary of me watching myself either A, succeed hopefully, or B, possibly fall into a big pit of wasted time, like my son said. Either way, it was something to do. Maybe it's just content for the internet. Who knows? First, let's start off with a little bit of a bio. For the people that don't know me, D. Jude Miller. Actual name is Dan, my middle name is Jude. Born and bred in Queens, New York. St. Francis Preparatory School, 4 years. Biggest Catholic high school in America. And then 4 years, School of Visual Arts, BFA in illustration. Sounds great, huh? I was the guy who was always doing art. I was the guy who was always drawing. I was the kid in your class that at 10 years old was doing the cartoons and then made sure he got into the right high school and then did all the work that he was supposed to do in high school and stayed up late and made sure every project was on time and graduated in the top of my class so that I could get into a good college, which I did, School of Visual Arts. Then I spent 4 years in the School of Visual Arts doing the same thing even harder, later nights, longer weekends. And then graduated on top of that class, and then kind of nothing. It turns out illustration's a really tough business to do. It's a really, really hard lifestyle. And while it can be great because you don't have a boss and you don't have a schedule, it's not really good for your bank account. So kind of bounced around for a little while for a few years, and then was lucky enough to find an actual full-time job doing cartoons. Not necessarily work that I'm going to show here or work that I'm super proud of, but the point was it served a purpose. It paid the bills, it paid the mortgage, you know, it kept me working. But ultimately, it ended, and when it ended, there was nowhere to go. And I found myself back where I started as just the kid who knows how to draw. And I've always had projects and plans for doing children's books, and it seems like it's the only option. So when people ask, you know, why are you doing this, there's not a lot else I can do. Like, I don't have a lot of skills. I don't know how to fix a car, and I don't know how to, I'm not that great with plumbing, but I do think I'm pretty good at this, and so this is where we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. You're probably asking yourself now, why champagne? Is this the alcoholic artist's show, or is he just an alcoholic? Maybe, but the point is, in my delusional exuberance, when I put out the first 2 books last week, Ear, Claw, and Eddie, right here, and Everybody Wake Up, I guess I was under this impression that there was going to be this like groundswell of excitement, like for what I was doing, and everybody I've known or ever have known was going to just run to their computer to download the book, and oh boy, was I wrong. Like, that doesn't happen. So tip number 1 for anybody who's out there and is thinking about doing this and wants to do it, and thinks that Facebook and Twitter, they're going to be able to just launch your career and you're just going to be an overnight success. The hard lesson that I found out pretty quick, like literally in the last week, is that's not going to happen. You can have X amount of friends on Facebook you're only going to sell this many, because the reality is, you know, people are busy and people don't notice and all this whatever. I don't know. And I mean, I want to point out, and I want to really thank the people who did. Every person who downloaded either one of the projects, I truly, truly appreciate it. I just want to point out that there's not as many people like out there as you think, like, are going to just run to their computer and like, oh, I have to download Dan's new book because he posted it on Facebook. That was an eye-opener. That really woke me up and made me realize it was tough. It's been a tough week because you spend so much time working on these projects, and then to hit that point where you really think like, well, this should be pretty easy. Like, at least I'm going to sell 100, or at least I'm going to sell 150 because I have 200 people on Facebook or 300 people on Facebook, and you don't. Like, you just don't. So, where am I at now? Well, the thing is, it's been, you know, a tough week trying to figure all this out, and going, well, how does this work? Like, what am I gonna do? Like how does anybody, you know, get this to work? I have some ideas. This obviously is one of them. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep doing this stuff. We're gonna keep promoting it, and we're gonna try some new things. Like, and we're gonna see what happens. So the bottles of champagne, actually, the idea was, one of them was for when I would sell 1,000 downloads. The second one was for 10,000 downloads, and the third one was for 100,000 downloads. And my hope was that all of these were going to be popping off a lot sooner than they really are. The reality is this: after a week of promotion and a week of a lot of ideas, I think we're sitting at about 24 downloads. It just is what it is. You gotta laugh, I guess. It's been a rough week, but hopefully this and hopefully a lot of other things will help. We'll move forward. Again, for anybody out there that's trying to do this, number one, I'm learning just like everybody else is, but I can give you at least the information that I've learned so far. And here's a couple of pieces of information. Number one, on one of the books, on Ear Clonetti, I actually hired somebody to do the conversion process from the files that I had to something that was possible to be put up on Amazon. And it wasn't crazy expensive. It was only a couple $100, but I figured it was a better use of my time because I assumed that process was really, really difficult. And I waited a long time. I waited like 3 weeks for them to do it. And then, you know, I'm sitting there waiting and I'm chomping at the bit to get the book out. And then it turns out, like, when they get it, it's all garbage. You know, like, it's all blurry and they didn't do it right. I don't even know. I don't know what happened. So, in my frustration, I went onto Amazon and I found the Kindle Children's Book Creator, which is a program you can just download from Amazon. And believe it or not, I was able to convert my entire book. Well, this guy doesn't want to stand up. Convert my entire book in about 5 minutes. So, to anybody out there, just get the program. It's really, really, really easy to use. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to talk about that they can do this service or that service and they're going to charge you this much. The truth is, it's going to take too long. They're not that good at it. And ultimately, the program exists. It's really, really easy. I'm not even kidding. It'll take you 10 minutes to turn your whole book into something that you can put up on Amazon. So I must say that so far in this process, the things that worked really, really well are it's really, really easy to convert the book. It's really, really easy to put them up on Amazon. That whole process is great. The wall that I ran into ultimately was that there's a whole second job like involved with this. You think when you do all this work, like you're like, oh, I'm drawing for 5 years and this, oh my God, it's finally here. You think that you're just going to be like, and then just send us the check, like we're rich now, and it doesn't work like that. What I've learned this week is there's a whole other marketing job, and you better be good at that, because otherwise you have like a really good project that just nobody knows about. So that's you know the tip of the week, and that's where I'm at as far as either one of these projects go. Like like I said, what are we going to do here week on week? I don't know. Like, the truth is, I can't take this business that serious because A, I don't know anything, so what does it matter, like, what I think or what I do? And B, it is sort of so ridiculous, like, trying to do this. You sit in your house all day and you do drawings and there's no connection to the world, and it's kind of ridiculous. And if you can't laugh at it and you can't make fun of it, and anybody who knows me goes, the truth is, I'm not going to take these videos that serious. I'm going to go and make fun of a lot of things, and I'm gonna try to have fun with the idea of how kind of dumb it is to just sit in your house all day, draw cartoons, and then try to sell them to the world. So we're going to look at some cool art. I'm going to show you some stuff that I've been doing, things that I'm working on week to week. Obviously, I'm going to promote the books that I'm doing. I think it'll be good for people who are creating books. I think it'll be good for people who just like books. I think it'll be good for other artists. I hope it'll be good for people who buy books, like moms and people who have kids. I hope that this will be entertaining for them. You know, hopefully we'll have some fun, and hopefully this is useful. And hopefully we're going to get a chance to at least pop one of these bottles of champagne sooner than later. Thanks. All right. Now, every week I'm going to do a segment called Drawings of the Week. It's no fun to watch videos where I just tell you to buy the products that I already have and tell you to go download the things that I told you to download last week. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the stuff I'm working on. The reality is, there's pretty much not a day that I'm not doing something or working on some project. There's a lot of drawings that I'm going to do. So it's fun to just kind of take a look at the process and what I've done this week and see where it's going and what projects are coming out, rather than always going, hey, buy Airclaw and Eddie. Hey, buy Airclaw and Eddie. By the way, buy Airclaw and Eddie. I'm not saying don't do that. Please do that. But it's more fun to look at some of the stuff I'm working on for tomorrow and not always the stuff I worked on yesterday. So that being said, let's take a look at some drawings of the week. All right, the last segment I'm going to do every week is looking at some work that's inspired me and other good work that's out there. Because it really doesn't make any sense, and you're not going to tune in to watch me just, again, go, hey, buy Earclaw and Eddie, buy Earclaw and Eddie, buy Earclaw and Eddie. By the way, still, if you haven't, go buy Earclaw and Eddie. But it's no fun to just watch me sit around talking about my own work all the time. That's not interesting at all. So I'm going to talk about some projects every week that inspired me. The first one this week is a book called The Shark in the Park by Mark Watson and Pablo Michau. This book caught my eye, because of Pablo Michau's illustrations are interesting and dynamic and exciting, but also because what I'm trying to learn is they're beasts at promoting their book. So I was seeing this book everywhere, in every group that I was in, all over Facebook, all over the place. And that's something I'm going to have to work on and get used to the idea that creating the art is only one part of trying to sell kids' books. Is you better be really awesome at telling people that the book exists. But anyway, let's take a look. It's Shark in the Park. Super interesting book by Mark Watson and Pablo Michau. Really, really good illustrations. Pablo's really, really good at something I actually have to work on a little bit more, is using the light. He's really, really good in making you feel like this is, a scary park, and making you feel like there's something very strange is going to happen in this book, and it does, as the title would suggest. There he is. There's a shark in the park. I'm not going to ruin it. It's their book. I definitely recommend getting it. That's as far as I'm going to go. with showing you the work. Definitely download it. It's a really, really interesting book. Kids will love it. My son loves it. It's definitely worth a download. Definitely check out Shark in the Park. So that's it. Episode 1 in the books. Ramblings of an Art Hermit. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope so. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Hopefully I'm going to get a little bit better at it. Hopefully I'm going to get a lot bit better at it. Hopefully I'm going to be able to tell you how many awesome books I sold this week and all the new awesome books that I'm going to go make now because I'm making awesome books. Hopefully. I got a lot of fun things planned, talking about cool stuff, about other books and projects that I know about. Trust me, I'm going to make fun of a lot of this process that I'm now stuck doing. It'll get better. Tell your friends, subscribe to the channel, help me out here. I'm not selling books. Let's just at least try to be entertained by the guy who doesn't sell books and is making a fool out of himself on the internet. Okay, so that's it. I'll see you next week. I don't know how to end this thing.